of the NDC joining us on the phone line now. Mustafa, good morning and thank you very much indeed for your time.
Good morning, my brother.
Are you happy with what's going on so far in Kumawu regarding the voting processes and the arrangements put in place by the authorities?
Yes, thank you for having me. I think basically the NDC is very excited about the election today. We are very excited about the prospects that we have experienced in Kumawu. It is refreshing to indicate that the government led by His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo have not come to Kumawu with a goodwill message because there is no legacy to show. We've been trying to see if this government will ever make mention or reference any developmental project that they have undertaken for the people of Kumawu. But there's none. We, on the other hand, are able to demonstrate that we have a good relationship with them, despite the fact that Kumawu is predominantly a stronghold of the MPP. The hospital project there was constructed by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The road infrastructure in Kumawu was done by the NDC. The water project, the 3K project, was done. Kumawu Konongo water project was done by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Clearly, our people on the other side are engaged in what we call good buying and sharing of goodies. As one would have, wished that because it is their strong goal, they will come and demonstrate good faith and campaign on past glories. That is not the case. They have literally just relocated the whole of the government machinery from Accra to Kumawu. And for us, it shows how unpopular government is, even in their own backyard. That apart from the logistics, apart from being in power, we have come as an opposition political party, and we have something to show. And we are very excited about the welcoming, the way the people welcome us, the assurances that we have received. If we have the same assurance for the end of 2024, and for us, that is a major.
Hello, Mustafa. Hello, Mustafa.
We've had a joint meeting with the police.
Right.
And discussed the modalities of the election as far as security is concerned. And one of the things critical to this process is that there's not going to be a joint operation, and that the police have enough men to police this election. So we are not going to see national security involvement. We are not going to see military involvement. Anytime you may likely see these people is when there is some sort of escalation. But basically in the last 1 week, there has been enough cooperation from both sides of the political parties, MPP and DC. If it continues, it's going to be one of the most peaceful elections. But MPP cannot be trusted. So we keep monitoring events, monitoring the activities. We are watching to see around 2 o'clock what they will do, because obviously it looks as if they are going to lose a seat. And they are desperate by all means to try to bounce back.
Mustafa, the records from 1996 does not support your claim that the NPP may lose the seat or will lose the seat, because it does appear that even the independent candidates who have been fielded in the past, who have come from the stock of the MPP, have always come ahead of the NDC in the Kumawu constituency. What do you say to that?
Yeah, so the independent candidate in 2020 got 11,000 and over votes, as against 13,000 of the MPP. Why would 11,000 members of the MPP decide to vote for independent candidates in their stronghold if the party is popular? That is a critical question that we should be answering. Does that mean that after 8 years, after 7 years in power, if the people were not satisfied with the government in 2020, what shows that today in 2023 they would be satisfied with the government when it hasn't done anything. And I just rephrase to you how the government is struggling, virtually involved in vote buying. His Excellency the President himself was here, the Vice President was here, Alan Kojo Chirmante was here. All ministers of state under His Excellency the President have been deployed into Kumawu. All MCs and members of Parliament have been deployed into Kumawu. The entire machinery of the MPP deployed into Kumawu in their backyard. Clearly, the NDC have, caused a landslide intimidation within the MPP.
You think that the MPP is working too hard for something that they claim is theirs?
We just think that they are using a hammer to kill a fly, because that is their stronghold. They should be sleeping and say that, okay, we have done so much. We have done so much, and so we are confident that the people will vote for us. If it was in a swing constituency and they'll be struggling like this, it is much accepted. In their stronghold since 1992, the people voted for them. But after 2000, their votes keep dwindling until today. You would see the issues will come out. You will see the voter apathy. A lot of people will not go and vote. As a sign of demonstration of the service that the MPP has shown the people of Kumawu, particularly the Nanadu-led government, have done nothing in Ashanti region. That is why we in the NDC are confident that beyond Kumawu, we're going to have a good, outstanding partnership with the Ashanti region to come to power.
Well, so are you confident of giving the people of Kumawu a member of parliament from within your party stock? Hello, Mustafa. Hello, Mustafa. Can you hear me? And I'm asking you, are you confident of a win for the NDC's parliamentary candidate in this by-election?
Come again, please.
Are you confident of a win for the NDC's candidate in this by-election? Hello, Mustafa. Oh, sorry about that. 92. I wanted to get his perspective on that, but well, I'm sure by and large that's what he has said. If you want to infer, let's connect with Mr. Richard Ahiagba of the New Patriotic Party. He's the Director of Communications. 32 minutes after 9 here on 3FM 92.7. We'll bring you all the updates from Kumawu, and we will have the best guests and best analysis that you can think about. Guys, the two are confident. I mean, you heard Mr. Obi Amwa, lawyer Obi Amwa earlier. He was also very confident that, and Mustafa raises a point that this is your backyard. It's a stronghold. Your votes have been dwindling since 2000 and what? 2000, right? Or
yeah,
so.
Since then.
Yes, your votes have been dwindling, and let's go back to Mustafa and conclude with him on this one. Mustafa, welcome back and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Great. So I'm asking, are you confident of delivering victory with your parliamentary candidate in Kumawu, a stronghold of the MPP?
Victory is just one of the success stories that we are going to come out of Kumawu with. We are also going to come out with increase in votes. Number two, we are also going to come up with knowing that government is so unpopular in its stronghold. We also have been able to expose the deficiencies as far as this government is concerned in their strongholds. And the case study is a very interesting twist going into 2024 strategically for us. And so the success stories as far as this election is concerned is not just relying on victory. Victory is just one of it.
If you do not win this election, will that mirror what could possibly happen in 2024? And if you win, could that also be the dress rehearsal for 2024 in terms of what the general elections will look like?
The analysis will come up when we are finished. But we are very confident that in all this, the NDC is on the winning side in all of the issues that I've spoken about. Don't forget that this is the MPP's traditional stronghold. You see the increase in vote margins. That will give you a reflective projected margin of 2024 in their stronghold. Already they have lost a goodwill of over 11,000 members who are voting for the independent candidates. And they had 13,000. So it's going to be an interesting twist. If I give you results, it means I have some figures that are existing before the election. But the indicators are so straightforward that it shows government is unpopular too. It shows that they have not done anything. We have exposed their complacency. We have further consolidated ourselves with the people of Kumawu. We have something to show, whereas they don't have something to show. And most importantly, we've been part of mourning our late brother, the former MP for Kumawu, Basua, who was never liked by members of the Danado-led government.
Now, Dr. Baumia has been in that constituency campaigning for the candidate, Mr. Nim. One of the things that he said on the platform was to remind the people of Kumawu of the Dumso era under the Mahama administration, was to remind them of a confirmed flying to Burkina Faso, and was also to tell them that you have not been successful in trying to industrialize the country. You only did 2 factories, and that they have done over 150. Do you think that could hurt your candidate in this election?
It is very bizarre that the vice president most respected, who is in power, is still accusing an opposition party of industrialization. It is much bizarre that the vice president have suddenly gained a voice because of a by-election. But when the economy was collapsed, he lost his voice. It is also quite bizarre that His Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana would remember Dumso but would not remember the litany of scandal, fraudulent, broad daylight robbery scandals that keep hitting their government day in, day out. There is no single day that we have not heard of a scandal, a very surprising scandal involving millions as far as this government is concerned. The people of Ghana do not have interest, or the people of Kumawu do not have interest in stories and political sloganeering. They are interested in the impact and how the situation affects their everyday life. There are some people who say, this vote is not going to be a vote of influencing. It's going to be a vote that what you practically experience in your standard of living will impact your choice of a vote. And so all these things Baumia have been saying, the Vice President, respectfully, is not here or there. But we know he's a talkative, so he will continue like that. We also know that he wants to become a presidential candidate, so he must gain voice. We agree with that. But the indicators on the ground is clearly, pointing to the fact that this government have lost popularity and lost touch with its stronghold. And that is quite shameful, to the extent that even on the burial day of the late MP, the MPP was campaigning in the federal. These people have lost touch with the ground. They've lost touch with emotion. They are insensitive. That is clearly who the breed of MPP people we have.
Bande.
Can you imagine that if you go to Chebi Youth right now, there's a free Wi-Fi in Anado's hometown, but the stronghold of the MPP, you can't even access a better internet. You've been an example of experiencing how bad our communication network is, even in trying to interview me. But you won't experience the same in Anado's hometown. So people are voting and others are enjoying. People of Ashanti region are advising themselves.
I thank you, Mustafa. I'm grateful for your time. Mustafa Gbande is the
Bless you.
Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, the largest opposition party. 39 minutes after 9 here on 3FM 92.7. Let's go to the camp of the NPP and we'll do some connection from there. Find out what they also think. The electorates are the master. The delegates, they will decide. They will decide. They will make that bold decision. So, ladies and gentlemen,
we've got a new one to add to the list. Although it wasn't a new one, but it's not part of our sunrise vocab. But I think it's a good one.
Which is?
Using a hammer to kill a fly.
Yeah.
I think we need to add that to our roster.
Yeah.
But also, we learn from history.
That we do not learn from history.
Classes in session.
Yes.
So,
present, madam.
Thank you.
Or shall I say present out?
Present out. So the enthusiasm from the NDC camp is encouraging, but we have seen the pattern. Yes, there are disgruntled constituents who don't appreciate what is going on and what has been going on, but really I am inclined to believe what history has told us and what to expect. But it is going to be very telling what the numbers look like today. And also, using a hammer to kill a fly indicates that the NPP know that if they don't put in that extra hard work, the numbers could be shaky.
It's quite interesting because if that's a stronghold, and a lot. I mean, the entire executive as he's talking is there. I mean, everybody. Saturday I was at an event. Right when we're done, I had like 4 chief executive officers of state-owned enterprises. There's a Kumawu, all of them.
Everybody's
This
there.
was Saturday evening into Sunday. They were going to leave at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Said Charlie, Kumawu. Everybody has to be there. It tells you that Charlie, the thing will be better like that.
Yeah.
And ground no soft like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because if it's your stronghold, you should not be working too hard as if you are now going to, because you already have the person in your corner. You just need to do local fuel to keep body and soul together. But if you have to do extra as if you are now trying to win the person over.
And you see, the president was there to reiterate that the reason why we are at the IMF, it's not because of mismanagement. He was quick to let the constituents know that there are some other 29 African countries also looking for external support.
It doesn't lie in his mouth. Is he suggesting that so if you go to school and you have more than 30 people not meet in the pass mark, it's not because they didn't sit down to study, or they didn't understand what was taught, or they didn't pay attention, or they didn't write the exam the way the instructions were given for them to write. But it's because, there are more than 30, so it's okay.
But also, waiting concern Star of Africa,
Yes.
as Ken Oforiata said,
Yes.
waiting concern Star of Africa and what the others are doing.
Yes.
Star of Africa, the
gateway to Africa.
Yeah.
Ghana beyond age.
Star of Africa, if somebody is going, that's none of your business. You are the star. You lead the way.
Class prefect.
You are the class member. So names of talkatives, then you are number one.
With DP. No more punishment.
Have you heard some before? They are writing names of talkative.
Yeah.
Then you are writing the name. You are the first name. Like
Yeah.
you said, DPTTT,
Yeah,
triple,
TTP.
quadruple P.
Tell
It
it
doesn't make sense.
Yes, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
But I was just saying that the Kumawu election, like all local elections, are very important because even the regional balance that we talk of, if you are constituting a cabinet, the number of MPs in parliament, if one party is in power and doesn't have the majority in power to take decisions, all these are based on some of these exercises. So that's why the MPP in particular will be upbeat about this election, because if they lose, it's going to have a very telling effect on some of the policy direction that they would have in parliament. And secondly, the NDC would also want to increase their numbers to see how they can build on that in 2024 in respect of making some gains in their weak hold, if you like. So whichever way we look at it, when we call their representatives, the conversations are going to be the same.
Yeah.
That's right.
No
We
matter
will-
what
we will
everybody
win,
is
we will
thinking.
win.
Yeah, everybody will say they will win. The winning has been defined by themselves and by us. If NEC says they will win, is it winning and taking the seat or winning and making gains in terms of numbers? MPP winning, maybe losing some numbers and still maintaining the seat. So these are analysis that will, as he said, at the end of the day, we as journalists will look at
the
and
figures
make some
after.
predictions going forward in respect of the 2024.
You raise a very
elections.
strong point. I mean, sometimes winning is not just having the ultimate, but
Yeah,
also
yeah.
to, if you make inroads there, that
Yeah.
means that, I mean, just about a year and a few months towards the next big election, if you are able to close the gap, which means that then the people are buying your message.
Yes,
It
yes,
just may mean that you have to put in a small, what do you call it? A small amount of work, and that's it. Then you're cool. You're good to go. On the phone line, joining us now is Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa. He's the member of parliament for North Tongue. He is also, if you like, the chief advocate for making sure that we're getting value for money, the National Cathedral, and asking all the critical questions. But this morning, he is in Kumawu. Guess what he's doing there? He's a polling agent. Honorable, good morning. Welcome.
Hi, good morning, Johnny. Thank you for having me.
How did the wind blow you to Kumawu to go and be a polling agent in a constituency that is not yours?
It's for God and country. We all have to help. The advantage of a by-election is that you can leave your constituency and focus attention in that singular constituency where the by-election is taking place. And a number of people volunteer to do several things. Some volunteer to be prompters to bring out the votes. Some will do monitoring. Some will do, if you like, provision of breakfast, lunch, dinner. Some will help with security task force. There's so many assignments, but I decided to serve as a polling agent, make sure that the votes are counted and counted properly, and that the true will of the people of the LA Secretary Kumawu polling station, where I am at the moment,
Right.
is the verdict that will be announced. So I'm enjoying it. I haven't been a polling agent probably since 2008. So it's good to be back doing this, and I have a wonderful team. The MPP agents, the independent candidate agents, they are very warm young men, and the electoral officers too are really professional. So far, I don't have any cause for concern. I think that the process has been smooth. We have recorded 78 voters so far.
Okay.
And I have ticked 78 voters who have showed up to vote.
Right.
On the register, a copy of which I'm holding now, we have 616 registered voters
Right.
for this particular polling station. So it promises to be a busy day because we are just doing less than 3 hours, and already we are about hitting 100. So
Okay.
it looks like turnout will be high. There are still a considerable number of people in the queue. So we are going to have a busy day.
To have a man of your caliber, very well educated, vocal member of parliament, intellectual and very analytical, be part of the process of trying to collate the results, would then mean that you're giving some credence to those who say the NDC in the past have not had a proper election collation machinery, which is why you lost the 2020 elections, for example. What do you say?
Oh, I think it will be arrogant on my part to say that just because I am volunteering today, all of those who have played fundamental roles, fantastic roles in the past should be discounted. I think that everybody's contribution has been worthy of praise. Certainly, in every institution, there are times that you need to carry out introspection, review, see if you can, improve certain areas. So yes, as an organization that aspires to always be victorious, as our party anthem says, from victory unto victory, that clarion call requires constant review and constant improvement.
Right.
So it's good that a good number of us are coming here to help. But remember that you have that advantage when there is a by-election. The critical question is when it is not a by-election and every constituency is busy holding elections at the same time. What measures can we put in place to make sure that the best and the finest, the most educated? And I think that what this example will also do is that it will send a clear message that nobody is high and above any electoral role. Whatever you can contribute, whether it's through being a polling agent, or helping with serving food, or helping with prompting, all of that helps. And since I've been here, I've noticed that even our branch executives have been energized. They are actively going around working. They want everybody to see that, they are taking the exercise serious. And I think that is what this helps. So for all of those you will call middle class, people who are high up there in academia, in professional groups, I think that when they all come on board, it really, really, really helps. And I've seen that the NDC Lawyers Forum has also been very, very active. I saw at least not less than 50 lawyers volunteering to serve as polling agents. So that really helps, and it also improves the quality of our democracy. And when you have, all of these people who are conversant with the process, who are educated, actively involved, it will do away with, the shenanigans, the violence, people wanting to come and engage in all kinds of underhand dealings, and then even the temptation to rake or to be compromised will be, totally eliminated. So there are many, many positives that this brings to bear. But let me say that all of those who have come before us, all of those who have contributed as polling agents, deserve to be commended, particularly those who did their work with integrity, with diligence. They all have to be commended, no matter what part of society or what level of the societal ladder they belong to. They all deserve high commendation.
Sami, let me ask you what a win for the NDC will mean for the numbers game in Parliament presently.
It will be very critical, very, very critical. And you know that we have a hung Parliament now, really. This business of a majority-minority, is really a misnomer. What we have is just groupings, a majority group, because the independent candidates decided to work with the MPP. I even have my own difficulties with that decision. I think that the independent candidate could really have positioned himself based on issues. That's what my understanding of the Constitution is. When I read the Constitution carefully, you can't just, you are voted for as an independent candidate. You don't come and permanently align. Then we should be having a by-election there. We should just cross carpet and be an MPP MP, where you just come and on every issue you are whipped into line and you vote on the MPP line. So strictly speaking, if you look at the understanding of the clear and proper understanding and appreciation of the Constitution, nobody has the edge in Parliament, the two leading parties. So these by-elections, this one, and then there's also a sin-off potentially pending.
Right.
And then there's also, don't forget that the Privileges Committee report, that final ruling is awaited from the Speaker. So as I projected at the beginning of this year, that it's likely we'll have 3 by-elections this year. If you go back to the projections I made 20 projections. I am on point, really, even though I'm not a prophet.
I see.
So these by-elections are really, really, really important.
But then that would mean
and if we win this, if the NDC wins this, we clearly will have caused an upset and will have changed the configuration. We will then become potentially the majority group.
What can you do with that? What can you do with that power if the executive exists, but then you are in charge of the legislature? They would need you to confirm or disapprove many of the proposals, loans and other, stuff that come through. What would that mean? That power. What would that mean to the people?
That would mean, first of all, it will be historic. It's never happened where the executive is in the hands of a different party and then the legislature is controlled by another party. So it will be historic, and it will mean that it will force the president to come into consensus, so that they will have to make sure that they engage us. And then all of those unpopular policies, I think they will become more listening. They will become more, if you like, responsive to the plight of Ghanaians, and it will help alleviate the hardship and all the concerns that Ghanaians have. So it will enrich our democracy, and it will help for majority rule, where the will of the masses will be respected. I think it will force the president in particular to his knees, where he will be compelled to listen, to depart from his current, YNTOB approach. So it will be very, very positive for our democracy moving forward if that were to happen.
Right. Samuel Kudjata Blackout, thank you very much indeed for your time. He's a member of parliament for North Tong, and
always welcome.
He's also a polling agent in Kumawu presently, by-elections. Hey! Yo! 0592928795 and 0208227290. You've been listening. You've been sharing our tweets and commenting. Let's hear your voice live on air. 0592928795 and 0208227290. Don't worry, there's an extended coverage of this right after the news at 10. We're going all the way till 11, and then Black Rasta will take over from 11 all the way till 12. Return after the news, and then in between we will have the updates from the Kumawu constituency. So stay with your election command center. And this is your Urban Lifestyle Radio on 3FM 92.7. Good morning. Oh, sorry about that. 0592928795 and 0208227290. This is the Sunrise Morning Show. Hello, good morning.
Hello, bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Talk to me.
Well, I think the independent candidate has not done as good. So I wish the voters will change the candidate. Because, in fact, the problem we are having in Parliament is a result of this affiliation with the majority in Parliament. So I think the voters should take a cue and choose another candidate. But looking to the last moment for interest in seeing that the proper thing is done. Because in the past they have problems with their polling agents. So we also need to change. We don't want him to exert himself so much. But we congratulate him for taking that.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Dan. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Johnny.
Mbeshe.
Onye no ebe kwa benya.
You mo bobotwe.
Wandanya shikeni chumoni mechuo kewa Ghana.
Thank you.
So now, it's really sad. Ake wabaji malemi. Me after development. You see, we vote for development. We don't vote because I'm a Ghana, I'm a Shanti, I'm this and that. We vote for development. So for me, no matter how you are my brother, if you are empowered and you don't do the right thing, I will tell you. But what do you see here? The NPP thinks what? The Ashanti is their stronghold. That's why you get a minister, energy minister, who should have known better, will stand on the podium and say that what? Yeah, Ashanti for MPP t-shirt, into the one year become normal t-shirt because of the we vote for you. Hey, Ashanti, you are more than that. Prove it at Kumawu.
Okay.
You are more than that. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa barakatuh, Kosami. How are you doing?
Oh, please.
Yes, sir. Talk to me.
Thank you very much. I think let me commend the Ashanti Regional Police Council for calling on the Electoral Commission to make sure this election is credible,
right,
and free of violence. I think it's a good cause.
Okay.
I commend them for that. But at least
than never.
Okay.
They have shut down for this current government, push all their vigilante people into the security services. Some of them were there. And it's just that some of them are uncontrollable too. And I'm praying for the IDP to stand up for this work to protect this election.
Okay. All right. Quickly, we have run out of time.
Thank you very much. I think the president will be mindful of what he said on platforms. This nation, we are suffering. We are suffering. All of us know the economy is not being managed well. Why do you go and stand somewhere when you are somewhere begging? Telling Ghana that you and your government have managed this economy well, and everybody knows that it's not true. Well, you continue talking about fake news, and the president himself is doing the same to us. It's unfortunate. I'm the better one.
Okay, thank you. You're my final caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hughes.
Yes, sir. 30 seconds. Let's hear you.
Yeah, this is Gershon.
Okay.
You see, the reason why sometimes it's very painful to support NDC.
Why?
NDC will leave Dr. Baumia to continue doing what he was doing 2015, 2016, and then 2000 to defeat them again. See, all what Dr. Baumia was saying through 2015, 2016, and the 2020 election. Instead of NDC to fight all Dr. Baumia's comments, audio and the video, to play wherever they go, to hear himself, the people to be listening and be watching. They will not take that decision. They will allow Dr. Baumia to continue to be lying and deceiving the people and then mess up NDC again. He started it again. Oh, NDC.
Thank you very much indeed. Broken-hearted he sounds. But we have to go. Make way for Godwin Asedeba. News update at 10. And then right after that, we are on with the extended coverage of the by-elections in Kumawu presently, where the constituents are voting to find a replacement for the departed member of parliament. And this morning and throughout the day, a total of 34,790 voters are eligible to cast their votes. There are 4 candidates, one on the side of the NPP, one on the side of the NPP, and 2 independent candidates. There are a total of 75 polling stations, and the NPP has occupied that seat since 1996. The NDC only occupied it from 1992 to 1996, obviously because the NPP boycotted the first elections of the Fourth Republic. We'll share the details with you and the analysis. Stay with us here on 3FM 92.7.
3FM 92.7, urban lifestyle radio station. 92.7.